Hi, Gary Port for NY Divorce Facts with Matcha, Azuki, Yuzu, and we have a newcomer here. If I can get him out, this is Gomashio. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. Those people who've been watching know that back in the fall, Kosho got out of the house. We did postings all over the place. We're on the internet. He was never found. Hopefully he was found by some family and they're taking care of him. But we never saw him again. Yuzu was very unhappy and she was stressed out. So we got Kosho's brother. He literally is Kosho's brother. And we named him Gomashio, which is Japanese for sesame salt. And he's a sweet little guy. Very different from his brother. And anyone who has birds know that all birds have different personalities. None of them are the same. And because we lost Kosho and he is no longer part of our family, I thought I would do a video about something I get asked about a lot, which is abandonment. The question I get asked quite often is, if my spouse abandons me, do I get the house? And the answer is, well, that depends. How long was the abandonment? What happened during the abandonment? What was the property that you had? So I'll give you a good example, a case I had many years ago. Husband walked out on his wife. They had 5 children. She had to chase him for child support. She went through 2 bankruptcies, a foreclosure, a heart attack, somehow held it all together, kept the house. The children were raised properly and became fine adults. 25 years later, he wanders back onto the scene asking for half of the house. In that instance, the judge said, no, she gets 100% of the house. She did everything for the last 25 years. You did nothing. So we look at the facts on it. How long was the abandonment? Was it a year, 5 years, 25 years? What happened during that abandonment? Did the spouse who stayed in the house have to raise the children, pay the mortgage? What else was going on there? So we look at all those factors to determine whether or not the abandoned spouse gets something or nothing. This also comes up in the context of retirement. We get a situation where a spouse will abandon another spouse who ends up raising the children. The spouse who was abandoned says, hey, I want part of that retirement, that 401k. And the court says, well, yeah, you're entitled to. You stayed home, you raised the children. You took care of everything while this person was out running about and living his life. So what happens now? Let's say the spouse who stayed home had a 401k. Can the spouse who did the abandonment get part of that 401k? Well, it depends. In the case law that I've researched, I think it's more likely that the spouse who was abandoned is going to get a good chunk of the abandoner's 401k, but that person who abandoned, he's got a much tougher argument trying to argue that he abandoned his wife and children. They had to chase him for child support, yet somehow he's entitled to part of her 401k. That one's going to be a little tougher sell to a judge, I think. The bottom line, though, is if you have a situation where you have a spouse who abandoned you and you want to know what your rights are with regard to marital property, give me a call at Port and Sava. I'll give you a free 15-minute consultation. Remember, at Port and Sava, we help you get on with the rest of your life.